Are all Midwestern states the same? Does everyone wave at the people they see while driving? And does everyone work on a farm? In this series, we compare and contrast the different states in the region to find the answers to those burning questions and more. In this video, we're taking a look at the similarities and differences between Illinois and Missouri. The state of Illinois has more than twice as many people as Missouri, with 12,812,508 compared to 6,154,913. Illinois also has a more diverse population, with the demographics being 60.8% white, 14.6% black, 5.9% Asian, and 17.5% Hispanic. Missouri's population is 79.1% white, 11.8% black, 2.2% Asian, and 4.4% Hispanic. Illinois has a larger percentage of immigrants as well, at 14.1% of the population, compared to Missouri's 4.2%. Aside from English, the most common languages spoken in Illinois include Spanish, Polish, and Chinese dialects. Missouri's most common are Spanish, Chinese, and German. Missouri, on the other hand, has a larger percentage of veterans. They have 401,779 listed on the census, which would be 6.5% of their population. Illinois has 570,264, which would be 4.5% of the state's residents. In the United States, the homeownership rate is 64%. Both Illinois and Missouri are slightly higher, with the land of Lincoln coming in at 66.1% and the Show Me State clocking in at 66.8%. Thanks to the presence of Chicago, the average home price is driven up in Illinois, so the median home value is $194,500, although that's below the national median of $217,500. Missouri's median home value is a more affordable $157,200. Those who rent pay an average of $1,010 in Illinois and $830 in Missouri. The state of Illinois has 6.09 million people in the workforce. The three largest industries are restaurants and food service, elementary and secondary schools, and construction. However, there are some highly specialized jobs that exist in Illinois that other states may not have. There are 3.11 times the number of people working as astronomers and physicists than would be expected for the population size. Thanks to Chicago being a major railway hub, there are also 2.45 times the average number of people working in railroad positions. The median household income is $65,886, but the Census Bureau shows there is a wage gap between men and women, where the men are earning 1.32 times that of the women. Men have an average salary of $76,281 compared to the women's $57,663. Here is a graph from the Census Bureau that shows that in 4 of the 5 most common jobs where both genders are doing the exact same work, there is almost always a pay disparity. The exception is with cashiers, where the women earn more, and registered nursing is closer in pay between the two genders, but men are still paid slightly more. Now let's look at Missouri. There are 2.82 million people in the workforce, with the 3 largest industries being elementary and secondary schools, restaurants and food service, and construction, so that's similar to Illinois, just in a different order. Missouri has an inordinate amount of people working in agricultural chemical manufacturing because of Monsanto being headquartered in the state. The median household income for the Show Me State is $55,461, with men averaging 1.32 times the wages of women at $63,808 versus $48,260 for the ladies. Illinois is home to several prominent higher education institutions, including the University of Illinois system with campuses in Urbana, Chicago, and Springfield, Northwestern University, the University of Chicago, and Loyola University, just to name a few. The most common degrees awarded are in registered nursing, general psychology, and general business administration. It's been reported in the news recently that some men are opting out of higher education, and that is reflected in the number of degrees awarded. 120,008 women earned a degree compared to 86,284 men. Missouri also has several large universities and colleges, including the University of Missouri at Columbia, Washington University, and Missouri State University at Springfield. The most common bachelor's degrees awarded are in registered nursing, general business, and general business administration. 57,437 women earned a bachelor's degree compared to 41,086 men. People in the media, as well as politicians, like to make Chicago sound like the most dangerous place imaginable, but it isn't really. Chicago doesn't make the 10 most dangerous major cities in the country. It isn't even the most dangerous place in Illinois if you look at the violent crimes per capita. That dubious distinction goes to the small city of Danville. Missouri, on the other hand, has 2 cities on the 10 most dangerous list. St. Louis is ranked 5th, and Kansas City is ranked 6th. If you look at just the murder rates, though, St. Louis is ranked number 1. The national rate for homicides is 5 per 100,000 people, while in St. Louis it's 64.6 per 100,000. Kansas City would still be 6th. So as far as violent crimes and murders go, Missouri is way worse than Illinois, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. Illinois is a long state, so the climate varies from one end of the state to the other. The upper half of the state is classified as having a hot summer, humid continental climate, so the summers are hot and humid, with the average July temperature at 85, but temperatures exceeding 90 degrees occur an average of 23 days each year. The farthest northern parts of the state average 189 sunny days, which is below the national rate of 205. Winters are cold and snowy, with snowfall averaging 35.1 inches per year, and the average temperature in January is 19 degrees. The bottom half of the state has a humid subtropical climate, which is the same climate classification as Missouri. The temperatures tend to be hotter in the summer than what you'll find in Upper Illinois, with the average July temperature of 88, and Missouri averages 202 days of sunshine. The January average is 22 degrees. With slightly warmer winters, there are fewer days of snowfall, with the state averaging 15.5 inches per year. The Midwest is also known for the occurrence of tornadoes, with Illinois averaging 54 per year and Missouri averaging 45. Both states have issues when it comes to healthcare and health outcomes for their residents. First, let's look at behavioral and mental health issues. Adults with major depressive episodes account for 6.99% of the adult population in Missouri and 5.62% in Illinois. In Missouri, 4.17% of the adults also have a major mental illness, compared to Illinois' 3.74%. The opioid epidemic has also affected both states at similar rates, with Missouri reporting 16 overdose deaths per 100,000 people, while Illinois reported 15 per 100,000. Both states also have similar stats when it comes to substance abuse in adolescents, with Missouri at 7.66% and Illinois at 7.55%. Overall drug overdose deaths are reported as 24 per 100,000 people in Missouri, and 19 per 100,000 in Illinois. Now let's look at social determinants that affect health. Chronic homelessness affects 1,355 people in Illinois, according to the most recent data. That's compared to Missouri's 883. Adults who haven't been able to see a physician within the last 12 months account for 13.4% in Missouri and 11.2% in Illinois. According to an organization called State of Childhood Obesity, both states have a similar rate of diabetic adults, with Illinois at 10.3%, putting them in 29th place, and Missouri at 10.9%, making them 25th. So basically, both states are similar in terms of health issues, but Missouri is just slightly worse in most metrics. People outside the two states have viewed Illinois as a reliably blue state and Missouri as mostly red, but that doesn't tell the whole truth on the political climate. It is true that Illinois' two senators, Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth, are both Democrats. It's also true that Illinois' electoral college votes have gone to the Democrat in every election since 1992, when Bill Clinton was first elected, but before that, the last Democrat they picked was LBJ in 1964. If you take a look at the electoral maps broken out by county, you start to see a shift between the rural and urban areas of Illinois. In the 70s, downstate Illinois' counties were mostly blue, while northern Illinois, with the exception of Cook County, was red. For the 1980 and 84 elections, the state swung red. However, those have to be taken with a grain of salt because Reagan was originally from Illinois. In 1988, southern and western Illinois were made up of mostly blue counties, with George H.W. Bush receiving only 94,999 more votes than Michael Dukakis. By 1992, the state was mostly blue counties. In 2000, you see that the popular vote stays reliably blue, but the southern counties are slowly turning red. In 2008, there were a few southern counties who gave Obama a shot since he was an Illinois resident, but they swung right back to red for his re-election race. In the last two races, with the exception of just a handful of counties, the state has been red. It's just that some of those blue counties are the most populous in the state, so how they go affects the entire state. You can really see the divide between urban and rural areas with the map of U.S. representatives for the state. There are currently 18 representatives, with 13 Democrats and 5 Republicans, but the Republicans represent a larger area, while the Democrats represent more people. So is Illinois a blue state? The answer is, sort of. Now, what about Missouri? They currently have 2 Republican senators, Roy Blunt and Josh Hawley. Prior to Hawley's election, the seat was held by a Democrat, Claire McCaskill. However, Missouri recently has been one of the more consistent states when it comes to how they have voted over the last 20 years. There are a few counties that go blue, while the rest of the state is a sea of red. Oddly though, in the 2008 election, McCain received only 3,903 more votes than Obama. If you take a look going back to the 1950s, you see a similar pattern as Illinois, where the state vacillates between blue and red with the popular vote, but the rural areas become more Republican and the urban centers become more Democratic. Missouri currently has 8 U.S. representatives, with only 2 of them being Democrats. So, is Missouri a red state? I would have to say definitely. The rural population is larger than the urban population. If you enjoyed this video, you should check out the other videos in this series in this playlist right here. You should also consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so. I cover topics related to living in the Midwest on this channel. Sometimes it's videos on my home state of Illinois, and sometimes it's other states in the region. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I remain stuck in the cornfield.